And a good evening. Welcome out to Little Woodrow's, talking Lamar University football. Hi, everybody. Harold Mann, along with Lamar football coach Pete Rossomando. How about those Cardinals this past Saturday going up to Commerce and beating A&M Commerce on their homecoming 29-20? Coach, just talk a little bit about that win on Saturday. It's always tough to win on the road in college football, regardless of where you play. And that place is no easy place to even get to.
No, it's definitely not. We had to stay in Dallas and drive over there. It's about an hour drive over, and you got to account for traffic because you never know if you're going to hit Dallas traffic. And it's kind of out there. But and it was homecoming. They had a good crowd, and the place was pretty juiced up. It's really good for us to get in there and get a win and get home and get ready to get on the road again 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, talk about the decision to stay in Dallas and not Commerce. The main reason is they really don't have lodging in Commerce for a Division I football team.
Yeah, not that can do the things we need them to do, catering-wise and as far as meeting space, things of that nature. So we had to head into Dallas. Stayed at a great place, the DoubleTree, and they did a great job of hosting us. And we were able to get there and no problem. We actually got there a half hour early than normal.
You beat us there, which is abnormal.
Yeah, we did. But I probably got there a little too early, to be honest with you. I think we go have it a little timed up a little bit better this week.
Now, what do you do if you get there way too early? Because you don't want them to, I guess, burn themselves out. I memean, it was a hot afternoon in Commerce. And,
yeah.
You don't want them hanging out in the sun. Just what do you do when you get there maybe an hour before you usually do?
You try to educate them on what they should and shouldn't do and the reasons why. And, again, the locker room wasn't really big, so it was a tight space, so they didn't all want to hang out there. So we had some guys just kind of moving in and out just to kind of get warmed up, loosened up, do some rolling out, some stretching, just some drill work. So we made sure they didn't burn out.
Looking at you offensively, Kalen Griffin, KG, another 100-plus game. That's his third of the season, 158 yards. He averaged nearly 7 yards a carry in that game.
Yeah, anytime you have a running back or a team that rushes for over 200 yards, you got to give a lot of credit to the offensive line and tight ends. Those guys played really well. I think they played at a super high level from a scheme standpoint of getting things communicated, and those guys gave us a variety of different looks up front, and it was just great to see those guys really perform at a high level.
Devin Gibbs got in the end zone with a touchdown reception. He had 39 yards receiving. Savon Ray had 22, as did Kendon Fusilier on a couple of catches. With Savon, I don't want to pick on the guy, but he's been solid for you, but unfortunately had a couple drops on Saturday.
Yeah, a couple big drops. I think those will, he knew it, obviously, coming off the field and worked through it. And, he's one of our guys and one of our guys we count on each and every week to go out there and play at a high level. And it's a little bit of a surprise when he doesn't, and he'll get it fixed. I promise you that.
Oh, absolutely. He's a competitor without a doubt. Behind center, Robert Coleman, he had 98 yards passing, 12 out of 26.
Yeah, I mean, you can't run the ball the way we did he had a rushing touchdown, and he performed very, very well in the scheme game as far as getting things identified and getting us moving to the right people. So, it's all the quarterback in our offense is truly a quarterback. He runs everything.
And you throw out Gino there, Jacoby Longino. You throw him out there for a few plays in a game, and he steps up and does the job for you.
Yeah, we certainly have no problem installing him into the game plan, and we'll continue to do that.
Ben Woodard, the Southland Conference Special Team Players of the Week. How about that? Lamar getting a Player of the Week in the Southland Conference. He had 3 field goals, 46, 37, 51. The 51-yarder broke a 20-all tie with 11 seconds to go in the game. And this is a guy, as we talked about before, Coach, he wasn't your number one in your depth chart coming into the season due to an injury. He had to step up, and he got the job done.
He did. And, like I said, I threw him out there for a chip shot in his first college field goal. 47-yarder, and he drilled it and never looked back from there. And he had two extra points, obviously, and 3 field goals. And when you can do that, you got a chance to win. And he's given us a chance to do that. So we're really happy and proud. He's worked. Ben's always been a team guy and never complained. And now he finally had his opportunity and really stepped up for the team.
Your confidence level in him when he's going out there for that 51-yarder, and I mean it was straight down the middle, plenty of leg. That thing looked like it could hit from 60 yards.
Yeah.
But the confidence you had in him, putting him in that situation.
Well, it started with the first one, right? I mean, once you make the first one and then he goes out and makes the second one, and you feel pretty confident at that point that I knew he had the leg. It was just a matter of whether he felt confident enough to get the ball up. And we were kind of had the wind at our back in that direction. So I knew that we could have gotten it done without another play as long as he hit it right, and he did. And like you said, it was a no-doubter. It was right down the middle. There was plenty of leg, and guys did a great job. Lane Gilchrist, our snapper, Chase Leon, our holder, the whole field goal team, the block team, which those guys don't sign up for that stuff. That's not what they come to Lamar for, is to play on the field goal team. And those guys took great pride in it. And we got Jamin Jackson in there as a tight end, who had probably one of his best games as a Cardinal, both on the defensive side, and then scored his first touchdown as well. So, he's on that. Jake Ferree, another defensive lineman's on that. Keyshawn Simpson, our D end is on that. So you got guys on there that never signed up to be on field goal team, and those guys are doing a great job.
11 seconds to go. You're kicking back to them in a 23-20 game. They have one timeout left, 11 seconds. There are times you see coaches decide to squib kick, maybe skip it down the field, let them pick it up, take time off the clock. I like what you guys did, kick it deep into the end zone. How do you approach something like that, and whether or not you want to squib it down the field or kick it deep?
Well, we didn't want to give them a chance to have a short field,
right? Because
that's what if you squib it, there's a chance it bounces off of somebody. Now all of a sudden they get the ball at the 45-yard line, and they have a chance to put the ball in the end zone. So we obviously know what Chase is capable of, and we just said to him, "Hey man, you got to kick it as far as you can." And he literally kicked it 8 yards deep.
And the guy brought it out.
Thank you. Late, too.
Yeah.
He kind of paused back there and then brought it out. And obviously the veteran, the guy who had all those tackles last week in Ken Savannah, just stepped up and played his tail off and got the guy down on the ground.
Cardinals coming off that 29-20 win over Texas A&M Commerce up in Commerce, soon to be East Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Getting ready to change it. Yeah. Hey, I want to give a hand to our crowd tonight, people.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. I mean, we appreciate you coming out here each and every Wednesday night, showing your support to Cardinal football and Cardinals athletics. Cardinals return home a week from Saturday against Southeastern Louisiana. That's a 3 o'clock kickoff. You don't have anything going on Saturday? Even if you have something going on Saturday, cancel your plans. Head up to Natchitoches to watch the Cardinals and Northwestern State. Again, talking about that 29-20 win over A&M Commerce on Saturday. Let's talk about your defense a little bit. Talk about the guys that really stepped it up for you on the D side.
I thought that the defense played really well. We had 4 sacks. Probably could have had 7 sacks based on, getting our hands on the quarterback. And we forced some bad throws, forced some untimed throws, which the guy, Ron Peace, he's been doing a really good job and been throwing on time for them. And he's a former Lamar guy, played here a couple of years ago at linebacker. Unfortunately, he played linebacker, pretty good quarterback. He
scratched my head on that one.
But he did a really good job, and we did a good job of getting him off his spot and making him throw fast. And our guys did a great job. But I think, Jamin Jackson played as good a game as he played as a Lamar Cardinal in his senior year. Up front, I think that obviously Ken Savannah played an incredible game. Christian Pugh and DeJuan Lewis played really good in the secondary as well. So, I mean, all those guys really stepped up, played really well. You had Ronnie Hamrick play well. That was a tremendous game for him. I call that a bounce back game. Played really well.
27 yards rushing.
Yeah.
Your defense held them as a team to 27 yards rushing. That's outstanding.
Yeah. I mean, we did. The goal is always to make a team one-dimensional, and we certainly had the opportunity to do that, and we did it. Which is good to see.
On the penalties for Lamar, Cardinals had 6 penalties for 56 yards. They had 3 penalties for 45 yards. And I'm talking about this because when you say 3 penalties, 45 yards, do the math. That's 15 yards per penalty. They were a little chippy and shovey and all that kind of stuff. How do you keep, emotions, adrenaline flowing? How do you keep your guys from reacting?
We didn't. We had 3 as well. And, disappointing for me. Disappointing that our guys got involved in that. I mean, it started in pregame with their guys and, John at our guys. And
didn't even jaw you? They
did, yeah. As I'm walking on the field, one of their captains got after me pretty good, and in front of the official too. But I think there's an element of our guys that did a really good job with that and making sure that they were disciplined. And then there were some guys that couldn't hold their emotions, and that's unfortunate. And we have to get better and make sure we don't fall into that trap.
A lot of times it's a second guy.
Yeah, it's always second guy.
Yeah. And unfortunately, when they initiate it, you're going to be second guy. One that I pointed out on my broadcast during the game is when Kenny Griffin gets chased out of bounds. A lot of scuffling. Their flag comes out. They call a 15-yard penalty on A&M Commerce on number 52. He's an offensive lineman. He's not even on the field.
Yeah.
He's on the sideline and did a little whatever over there when KG went out of bounds.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see it. Again, that's unfortunate. That shouldn't happen. And we, hopefully, they flagged it. They did what they were supposed to do, and we benefited from that. But you don't ever want to see that. That's how big things happen that you can't control. So we certainly hope that would have been better.
Especially in a close ball game, when one swing one way, one swing the other. You don't want to take yourself out of a situation.
Yeah, correct. Correct. And again, we'll get better at it, and we talk to our guy. And emotion is a huge part of this game.
Oh, without a doubt.
So the guys that are the best players are usually the most emotional and play just on that edge. So we have to get that, make sure they understand what that edge is.
And you're also talking about young men that are 18, 19, 20, 21 years old.
Yeah. I mean, there is that factor in it, but they know better. I mean, they're young adults. They have an idea what's right and wrong, and we communicate about it a lot, during preseason and as we get ready for the season. So there's really no excuse for it on either side, their side, our side. We really it has no business in our game.
Talking with Coach Pete Rossomando again, 29-20 win on Saturday. Talk about special teams play.
I mean, overall, great. I mean, Chase down the ball on the 7-yard line. He punted the ball for 43-yard net average, which was really good. I thought Kendon Fusler had a 15-yard punt return, which obviously when you can get that, man, that I think their net on that was like 21 yards on net punt, so set up our first field goal. I think special teams played really well, had some impact plays in that game for sure. And they need to continue to do that and get better. And I think each week, our special teams has gotten better. And, I think it's a testament to our coaches and it's a testament to our players that are putting the emphasis on that during the course of practice.
I got to pick on you and talk to you about one of our kickoff returns. Number 41. Nick Rossomando. Nick Rossomando.
Secret weapon.
The secret weapon. A freshman out of Lumberton High School had a kickoff return, not only as a coach, but as a dad. What was going through your mind when that ball's coming to him?
I just said, please catch it. Please catch it. And then when he caught it, I was like, oh, my gosh, he's in trouble.
He doesn't have that breakaway speed.
Well, he's on the opposite side of the return. Everyone's running the other way.
That was a cool moment. It really was to see that. Final thoughts, Coach, maybe later on in the program, our final segment, we'll go over it again. But your final thoughts on the Commerce game?
Again, like I said, it's our first league win. It's our first road win. I think all those things are hard to come by. I think Commerce is a much improved football team from a year ago. I think you can agree. You commentated the game last year, and they're way better on offense. They have a great plan, and we did a really good job on defense of minimizing some of the damage they could have done there. So, and again, I thought we ran the ball well, which we have all year, but really that was the best we played up front and in the tight end position from a mental standpoint. They played really sharp, and we need to continue to do that to be successful.
Yeah, 262 yards rushing as a team. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, I like to get over 300, but that's kind of that's where we are.
On the road, back-to-back conference games on the road, heading over to Natchitoches to take on Northwestern State. The Demons, 0-3 in the league, 0-8 overall. Just tell us about them a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you this. They're playing their tails off. They went down to Nichols last week and, pretty much held them in check offensively. Played a really good game on defense. Nichols obviously kept them in check offensively, but these guys are playing super hard. They take on the personality of their head coach, who I got a lot of respect for, and Coach McCorkle, and he's doing a really good job of keeping those guys motivated. I've done this before, so I know exactly what he's going through. And
right.
It's not the easiest thing in the world to keep those guys motivated and playing hard each and every week. And he's doing that, and those kids are playing their tails off for each other and for him. So that's a testament to him. And, they got a really good defensive front. They got some guys that can play, and they got a former Cardinal middle linebacker, and Blake Goucher, and he's playing well. And, I think overall there's, they're a team you got to watch out for, and it's homecoming there. It's our second week, third homecoming in a row.
Yeah.
We had our own. We went to Commerce, and now we're going to Natchitoches to play at Northwestern State.
It's always fun to spoil other people's homecomings, as the Cardinals did against Commerce, and hopefully will be this coming Saturday. Their situation, I'm not going to get into too much detail because, everybody knows the situation, but their coach came into a real bad situation last year following the previous season.
No, he sure did. And, essentially they played 6 games and shut the program down, and you may as well just shut it down for good and then restarted it. But, he went into a really tough situation. I think from a culture standpoint, a morale standpoint, that's had to be a tough place to walk into. But he's done a really good job. And, I got nothing but respect for him and his staff. When I watched them on film, I see a plan. I see those guys, again, in the right spots and doing the right things. And, they're going to get a W against somebody.
Hopefully not this weekend.
Well, we got to do our best, and we got to play our best football in order to make sure that doesn't happen. And, I talk to our team all the time about, you can't look at any records. If that was the case, then no one would have cared, about us last year, because we didn't have a very good record the year before. So, we got to treat all our opponents with respect. And when you turn on the film and you watch them, man, it's hard to not see a team that's going to break through at some point.
Yeah, now they haven't won a game all year, but when you look at them, what are some of your concerns? What are they going to show you offensively?
They're very multiple on offense. I think they're trying to find their, what they're going to be really good at. So they're kind of in and out of a bunch of different things, a lot of personnel groupings, a lot of different schemes to try to accentuate the guys they have on the offensive side of the ball. They're down to their third quarterback, but the second quarterback is, I think, coming back this week. They try to run the quarterback. They run some play action with him. When they had the freshman quarterback in there, you could tell that they were trying to really put him in good situations to make sure they felt making him feel comfortable back there. But that's kind of what we're going to see, is a little bit of everything to see if they can get something going against our scheme.
What about defensively? What do they show?
They play a 3-man front. They got a 355-pound nose guard. He played against us last year here at Lamar when we played in Provost Humphrey. And then they got a really good middle linebacker, makes a lot of tackles. He's a tackling machine right now. And really, I think their secondary is what I would call top end of our league. Top 3 or 4 teams in our league. They got really long and athletic corners. They got 3 safeties. They're kind of interchangeable. They move them around, and they do a really good job of both defending the run and playing tight ends, slot receivers in the pass game. So I think really that's really going to be their strengths, their D-line, their secondary. And, again, they have a linebacker that's making a lot of plays for them right now.
And he's familiar with the Lamar program.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, he played here last year. So
let's talk about the conference a little bit as a whole. I mean, Cardinals 1-1. It's kind of messed up right now because some teams have played more than others. Southeastern Louisiana and UIW, they're both undefeated. One's 3-0, one's 2-0. And then there's just a handful of teams, basically a game and a half back, one back on the loss side, only one loss. So there's a long way to go in this conference.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of good teams in the end of the year, really. I think Southeastern has kind of turned the corner a little bit. They play UIW this weekend. Obviously, that's going to be a big game in the conference. I think McNeese is had some really good wins this year. Obviously, Houston Christian has had a couple good wins this year. There's just some Nichols, obviously formidable, picked to win the league or picked to finish second. So I think there's going to be some really good teams in the league. And you got to be playing your best football in November. No one cares what you did in September.
Right.
They only care what you do in November. So all these teams that are vying for playoff spots and vying for league championship, now is the time you got to really start picking it up.
Now, I know you're only concerned about Lamar, but this league good enough to get more than one bid?
I think so. Yeah, I think I would say 100%.
Yeah.
A year ago, I might not have said that because we didn't win a lot of out-of-conference games. And, this past year we really had we played some upper level out-of-conference games, and I think a lot of teams showed out really well in those games.
Cardinals on the year, 4-3, 1-1 in the league again. Had to Natchitoches on Saturday. You ever been to Natchitoches, Louisiana?
I haven't, but I heard they have these unbelievable meat pies. That's all I've heard all week. Natchitoches meat pie. So I'm going to have some post game meat pie. So I told our operations guy Jacob Diaz. I said, let's get a few dozen of them for the coaching staff post game.
Post-game meal.
Yeah.
And the players, they just get whatever they get.
No, we feed the players way better than we feed us. Trust me.
Yeah.
We need to.
Yeah. The church. I noticed. I went through the area the other day. You all gave them not churches, Chicken Express. Man, that was some good eating.
No, they didn't have Chicken Express. No.
I saw one. Well,
no, sir. Our performance coach, Coach Walker, would not allow that.
All right. Well,
we wound up going with a barbecue place where they had a pulled pork sandwich and a turkey sandwich. So some mac and cheese.
Yeah. That must have been a family member or something that snuck across the street.
It was, yeah. It definitely was.
What's wrong with the good old fried chicken and coleslaw?
No, not Coach Walker. He's not allowing that to happen. So.
Now I did notice you guys actually busted out of there before we did. And we're on the way back. You guys stopped halfway somewhere for a few minutes, didn't you?
Yeah, it wasn't me. The driver had to relieve himself. So.
Well, why could all 4 buses had to stop?
We stay together. Yeah, we're a family. Go. Yeah, we don't. Well, where one goes, the other guys go.
Yeah, more than one. We got to go. You got to go.
Right.
They basically, as we look at your football team preparing this week for Northwestern State, what are you just going through the normal drills as you do during the practice week? Yeah,
everything's fairly normal. The only thing different for us is we were off the grass practice fields this week because of some maintenance. So we were in the stadium, which always cuts down the amount of transition and running we do because obviously the grass fields are spread out. So when we're transitioning from drill to drill, we're running a lot more. And we got GPSs on the guy to track all that distance and player load and sprint distance. And so we being on the turf, it helps us. And we have a thing called Victory Monday, which means if we win on Monday, we don't actually practice. We just walk through. So we lift and we do meetings, and then we walk through to give them a bonus for getting the victory.
So we had a walk through this past Monday.
Correct.
Awesome.
A jog through. Yeah,
a jog through.
Yeah.
And that's usually they get the Sunday off because of maybe a long bus trip back and things.
We always give them Sunday off. I believe in Sundays off. I think some guys want to go to church. Some guys just need a day off, a day to get their meal prep ready for the week if they live off campus. So I don't believe if I gave them Monday off, I don't believe that'd be a true day off. Their guys are on campus, they're going to classes, they're doing study halls, so it's not truly a day off. So we like to give them Sunday off, so it's a day to rest.
Now, the coaches, you're up there on Sunday breaking things down, aren't you?
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, we're
it's a 7-day-a-week job during football, man.
It's 7 days a week. It never stops.
Something you mentioned study hall. I think it's pretty neat. We come up there Mondays for your weekly press conference to talk about the game just completed and the upcoming game. And I noticed those study halls, and there's players in there. They're in study hall.
They have scheduled times to be in there, so they have to be there. There's no choice. It's voluntold.
Get
your butts to study hall.
They're voluntold study hall. I love that. I did have a question from the audience.
Oh, yeah.
But this person did not want to be identified.
Okay.
Who has more career kickoff return rushing yards, Pete or Nick Rossomando?
Nick, for sure. For sure. They wouldn't dare put me in a place to touch the ball when I was in high school. I actually touched the ball every single play in high school.
You were the center. Now, going back to Nick real quick. You sit in middle school, junior high. It was a running back?
In the 8th grade, he was a center growing up his whole life. Played center, played linebacker. And then when he got to 8th grade, we moved to New Jersey when I was coaching at Rutgers. And the coach is like, hey, we're going to move him to running back. This guy can really run. And I'm like, oh, no, don't do that. And the kid was actually pretty darn good. He was like Wildcat quarterback. He scored, I think, 6 or 7 touchdowns. He played good. And in the championship game, the starting quarterback gets hurt. And now Nick's got to go in at Wildcat quarterback. He carried the ball 32 times in the game.
How many times did he pass in that game?
Never.
0. Okay, again, Saturday, it is a trip to Natchitoches, Cardinals, and Northwestern State. This dates back to 1951. The two schools have met 24 times on the gridiron. This will be the 25th meeting, with the Cardinals winning 2 out of the last 3. And even last year at Provost Humphrey Stadium. So this was one that goes way back.
Well, last year, if you remember, that game was tied late in the game.
Yeah.
And Andre Dennis made a huge play, got the ball down to the 5 and then fumbled in the end zone. And Kindon Fusler jumped on it for a touchdown. And, we were able to get out of there with a win. I mean, again, they played hard. Their guys are going to play hard, and so are our guys. And, we hope it's going to be a great game, and our guys play well.
It's a older type stadium. I've been there a few times. It's really not a bad college atmosphere stadium.
Yeah, I've never been, and I've only seen it on film. And again, I'm looking forward to getting there and seeing what it looks like.
Now, dude, like I said, I've been there so many times, and I can't even remember what I had for breakfast. Do they have grass or field turf? What do they have?
Oh, they're turf. Yeah, they're turf for sure.
Any schools in the conference, everybody pretty much going primarily maintenance. I mean, maintaining a field like that is.
Yeah, I think we're probably one of the only schools in the conference that only uses their stadium to play football. I think a lot of them it's a multi-purpose facility. They use it for soccer and some men's and women's soccer in a lot of cases. So it gets a lot of use. And intramurals and things of that nature. And
fortunately for Lamar, we have our own soccer field.
We do. Yeah. And we actually, Dr. Taylor is building an intramural field right next to the Rio building on the other side of campus. He's putting a turf field there for intramurals and for band.
Do you think it's a coincidence he put it next to where he could look out the window and watch the intramurals? Yeah, well, we talked about having a spring practice over there and doing something in the middle of campus for the students. So we're excited about possibly doing that. That's pretty neat. And let's talk about the students here real quick. And it seems like each game, and of course we have the road game coming up this Saturday, back home next Saturday against Southeastern Louisiana. Hats off to our students. We can't wait to get them out there. They're excited. They're excited to be out in the. And I think we had the most students
on homecoming than they've had in the last 3 years at a game. So it's always fun, when we walk from pregame meal to the facility. We walk by the Silver Bullet tailgate. We walk by the band, and they're playing, and the cheerleaders are out there, and it's just a lot of fun to walk through. Our fans and our players walk through their peers.
And the kids have got to love it. I mean, because
they do.
Not only students, longtime fans, former players are all lined up for you all to walk through, and you're leading the way.
Well, I don't lead the way. I'm just next to Caleb Williams and Isaiah Jones and all those guys.
Okay, let's break that down. Two of the biggest guys on the team you have off to the left or you off to the right of you.
Well, yeah, C. Wills, that's the guy you want at your side for sure.
He's a guy, if you mouth off to somebody, you want to make sure he's around.
Yeah, and you want Isaiah Jones there because just in case something breaks, he can fix it.
Yeah, you're right. You told us about that. Well, with Caleb, I guess you'd say he's a gentle giant because he's such a good guy.
He's a great guy, but, man, there is a switch that flips
when he
walks on that football field. I mean, he steps between those lines, and you kind of look over, and you're like, is that the same guy?
That's
but, man, he's the best. He's the reason he's a captain, reason he's been so successful.
Okay, you mentioned there's times you work out on your practice field, which is grass. If you don't play on grass, why you work out on grass? I mean, just
grass is way better for your body.
Yeah.
It's way better for your joints. The big guys really appreciate it, the O-line and the D-line. Sometimes the receivers don't like it because it's not as grippy as turf, but I really do believe that there are going to be less injuries on the grass than there are on the turf. So I think and you fall on grass, it's just a tad bit softer, and so I just believe in that, and I think that having that amount of space for 110, 115 guys is really beneficial.
Now, excuse me, how often do you work on the field at Provost Humphrey compared to the practice field?
So we're usually Monday, Thursday in the stadium, and Tuesday, Wednesday on the grass, and then Fridays obviously in the stadium.
Yeah, and Friday in a home game, just basically walkthroughs and
jog through. Yeah, it's a jog through for us. We're moving. I mean, we're not walking, but we're certainly not sprinting or anything like that.
A lot of folks out here visiting today. Thank you also for coming out.
Yeah, we got a shout out to the Christus outpatient rehab group over there that rehabbed me back from my total knee replacement this year. We really appreciate that.
Well, we have another special guest, Millie.
Yeah, Millie.
Millie Sperry is here today. Look at that beautiful dog. How about that? All right. Again, we've got about 6-7 minutes to go in the show. Recapping a little bit what's coming up. Northwestern State coming up on Saturday, where it's homecoming. Usually there's some kind of delays or whatever, but going back to Commerce, their homecoming was a little bit different. They crowned their king and queen in between the first and second quarter during that timeout. But, which I didn't mind because it kept the game rolling.
Yeah, 2 minutes, get them in and out.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, you're the king, you're the queen, see ya. Does going into an environment where you're the opponent on a homecoming, does that even impact you at all? Do you even care?
No. I mean, you're signing up for a football game. You don't worry about that other stuff. But, I think it gives our guys a little bit more energy and juice, to know that people schedule us for homecoming and, they want to go out and play well in front of a lot of people. So I think it's a good thing.
Several years ago, they've had some great football players come out of Northwestern State over the year. Former Cardinal and as a Cowboy drop a Super Bowl pass. Jackie Smith played there. The late Joe Delaney played there. Mark Duper played there. So they do have, although they're rebuilding the program right now, they do have football tradition at that university.
Yeah, they do, and I think that's what was so great about being at Lamar, and is that we do have football history. Even though we're recently brought back program, there is rich history of people that played here and have come through the system. And when you go on the road recruiting, boy, you meet a ton of Lamar alums out there, and for us it's really good, and I'm sure they're kind of feeding off that same type of thing up there as they're building their program.
I think I talked to you about this a couple weeks ago, and I want to bring it back up. In the homecoming, you had 1989 team there, and that was a special team because that was the last team before the program was dropped in 1989, before it was resurrected, thankfully, in 2010. And I talked to a couple guys on that 89 team, and they were just in awe. They were so appreciative of from Jeff O'Malley to you, your entire coaching staff, the kids, how welcome they were when they were given a tour of the facilities.
Yeah, and the disappointing thing when you talk to so many football alums is that they haven't been engaged as much as we want them to be at Lamar. And I told those guys pre-game, I just said, hey, this is your home, and we want you to make sure you know that you're always welcome, and we want you here. We want you on the sideline. We want you at practice. We want to make sure that our players know who their lineage is, and people that can help them in the job market, and people that can help them if they want to go to grad school or they want to go to law school, or, I know there's people out there that can help them do that.
One of those guys, a guy by the name of Bo Brown, out of Vidor High School, played 86, 87, 88, and 89 here. He's part of the iHeartRadio family, our family over in Houston. He was my color commentator for about 5 years, and he brought up the fact, he goes, now look, I was part of this program when they brought it back because I was in the booth with you talking about myself. He goes, but there were so many different players that were basically back turned on them. They were not part of the program.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, I don't know. I wouldn't know why they would not want to do that, but they're family. We want them here. We want them involved in what we're doing, and we want our players to know Lamar alumni, and how powerful that group is.
Because they're going to be alumni someday.
Some of them in 5 games.
Yeah.
So
you're right. You got 5 games on the schedule.
And I say to them, man, the sand is going through the hourglass pretty fast right now. So, take advantage of every opportunity that you have. That's Jalen Freeman. That's Caleb Williams. That's Savon Ray. That's Kalen Griffin. That's Ramon Stevens. That's JaVale Robeson. That's, all the Eli Ripley. I mean, those, and the list goes on. And man, it is just going fast.
All those guys you just mentioned are walking out here with degrees at Lamar University.
Most of them already have them.
And some of them are, getting their second.
Correct.
Working on their second degree. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
All right, got about 3 minutes to go. Again, Cardinals hit the road. Natchitoches, Louisiana, 2 o'clock kickoff here on KLVI coming up on Saturday afternoon. Less than 3 hours up there, folks. Not a bad drive. Beautiful little community. Get up there and support your Cardinals. You'll be home by 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah, you'll be home ready to watch you'll watch the 7 o'clock A&M LSU game. So 7 p.m. So come on out and watch the game, and you'll be able to get home and have a couple cold ones on your couch while you watch the evening game.
Best way to go.
That's right.
Your travel plans this week, leaving on Friday?
Yeah, we'll practice here. We'll have our meetings and everything here, and then we'll head up. I think we head up at 1 o'clock. It's about a 2.5. We're staying in Alexandria, so
which is down the road a bit, not
down
bad.
The road about 50 miles. So they got a great full-service hotel there, so we're going to stay there and have the opportunity to get our team there. And I love being in the hotel on Friday night because it's just a team, and those guys get a chance to be together, and we do some special stuff on Friday night, so it's pretty cool.
Real quick, back to conference, we got a lot of kids from the greater Dallas area, kids from East Texas.
Oh, yeah.
We had a lot of fans, and, fortunately, where James Dixon and myself were, we were on the visiting side. They had a press box over there, so we were right on top of the Lamar fans Saturday. They were fired up. We had a good crowd over there on Saturday.
We had a great crowd, and we do have a strong showing from East Texas and the Dallas Metroplex, and those guys brought their families, they brought their friends, and, man, there were tons and tons of people there. And there were a lot of Lamar alums there, believe it or not. Devin King, our offensive guard from last year, came out to the game. It was great to see him. Brought out a bunch of guys. So it was fun to see those guys out there and see Lamar, people supporting Lamar. It's fun to see. I
had a chance to speak with Ramon Stevens' parents. They came up from New Orleans.
Oh, yeah.
And,
never miss a game.
And it was really cool to see them. Of course, we had him on a couple weeks ago. And they said that, hey, we were able to listen to that, and it was pretty cool. Yeah. But it's good to see same with Robert's parents coming in from California every game.
Every game. Yeah, they never miss a game. No matter where. They tell the story about when they played. We played at Southeastern last year where they flew the red eye. So they actually showered. They went to their other son's game, played a Friday night game, went straight to the airport, showered in the United Club. You know, they got showers in there, showered there, got on the flight, flew to Red Eye out here, got here, and went right to the stadium. Right to Southeast Louisiana. I flew into New Orleans and drove right to the stadium.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's great, you know, because
dedicated.
They're seeing their kids play college football. Again, that's going to about wrap it up here on a Wednesday night. Coach, again, congratulations on that win this past Saturday over in Commerce, 29-20. Let's go get them. Saturday in Natchitoches against Northwestern State. We're back here next Wednesday, a week from Saturday. We will see you at Provost Humphrey Stadium against Southeastern Louisiana. For Coach Nick Rossomando, I'm Harold Mann again. Thanks for coming out. Good night, everyone.
Coach Nick Rossomando?
Did I call you Coach Nick? Awesome.